All right, hey everyone. Hello, welcome. Welcome to R4. These guys have the best seat in the house. Feel free to grab a seat. Come on in, we're going to talk about Facebook. Who wants to talk about Facebook? I know there's a lot of you out there who want to talk about Facebook. We'll have some questions. So we're going to do some live Facebook training here. My name is Katie Lance, and I am the CEO of Katie Lance Consulting. I run my own social media marketing firm, and in fact, RE/MAX is one of my clients. I'm working really closely with the RE/MAX marketing team out in Denver, really helping to revamp the social strategy for RE/MAX. Prior to my own business, I worked for Inman News for 3 years, and and you gotta love that, right? And Inman News is really kind of the leader in real estate and technology. So for the last 3 years, I was a social media director and really kind of helped to grow the social footprint of Inman from about 5,000 followers to over 300,000 likes and followers and friends. So I work a lot with agents and real estate brokers all across the country. I've spoken to tens of thousands of agents, all about social media. And I have actually 2 sessions over the next couple days, one tomorrow on social media strategy. I'm going to talk for about an hour tomorrow at 4 o'clock, really deep dive into content strategy and relationship building and prospecting. And then the next day on Wednesday, I'm talking about visuals, so photos, graphics, videos, Instagram, all that fun stuff, and that'll be on Wednesday. So today I'm going to take about 25 minutes here and really kind of go into some stuff with Facebook. So just for those of you who are sitting in front of me, how many of you are on Facebook? You have a Facebook profile? Okay, a couple of you. Okay, good. So what I want to do is I want to talk a little bit about Facebook personal profiles and then also business pages, because I always get the question, I have a personal profile, do I really need a business page? What's the benefit? What's the difference? And there's some really kind of key things that are key differentiators. So I have up here, and I'm not sure if this is up here right now, but this is, are you guys seeing this right now? This is the RE/MAX page. Let's see if I can peek out. Okay, so this is the RE/MAX Facebook page, and I'm going to actually go over to my page. And so, let me click here. So this is my profile. You can find me at facebook.com/KatieLance. And as an agent, there's definitely a lot of benefits to having a robust personal profile. People ask me all the time, can I talk about business on my personal profile? And you certainly can, but you want to do so in a way like you would talk about other things that you were interested in. So for example, on my personal profile, you'll see, I took a photo of my room when I checked in. I took a photo of the view from my room here in Vegas. Why? Because I want to talk about what I'm doing, the fact I'm here at RE/MAX, the fact I'm excited to be here, but I'm also sort of subliminally sharing that I'm at this fantastic event and I'm talking about work without really talking about work. And when you look at your personal profiles, that's one thing that when I look at real estate agents across the country and what they're, the agents that are doing a phenomenal job actually turning, kind of the fun on Facebook into leads and business, what they're doing is they're sharing things that they're excited about. So they're not afraid to get a little personal. They might talk about the vacation they take to Hawaii. They might talk about their kids or their grandkids. Of course, within reason and of course with whatever you're comfortable with. But they also talk about real estate, and they talk about real estate in a fun way. So, a couple great examples. Virginia Munden's a fantastic example. She's out up in Canada. Chris Spiker and his wife Peggy Lynn Spiker, they're out in Maryland. And those are 2 fantastic RE/MAX examples, and there's so many across the country of people who are doing some amazing things with social media. But some of the things that they're doing is that they're capturing moments. So we all have these moments in real estate, right? The moment someone gets the first set of keys, the moment that they close a listing. And for us, it's like, well, it's just another day at the office. But for most people, it is a huge moment in their life, right? And I know for myself, just yesterday, I bought a new car, all right? And, thank you, a brand new car. And, it's not often we buy a brand new car, and obviously that's not as big of an investment as a home. But for me, it was just such an exciting moment, right? And I think as an agent, as a broker, you have an opportunity to capture those moments. And that's a great thing to share on your personal profile. So a photo of the happy homeowners, jumping for joy with their for sale sign, or getting that set of keys. And that's an easy way, again, to talk about the fact that you're a real estate agent, but not just promoting your listings. So on your personal profile, I've got my page pulled up right here. There's a few things that make a big difference. And I'm going to talk about business pages in a second. So first of all, up at the top, you've got this big cover photo. And mine is a flower. That was a flower for my husband. The big cover photo should be something personal about yourself. So many times on a personal business page, I see that cover photo, and it's completely branded real estate. It's completely branded, RE/MAX real estate agent. And first of all, on a personal profile, it's actually against the terms of service on a cover photo, that big photo across the top, to have it be all about business. Now, could it be somewhat business related? It could. Like for myself, sometimes I'll have a photo of myself teaching to a group of agents, right? That's kind of business related, but it's not saying, oh, call me, right? I've seen a lot of agents have a beautiful photo of a view or a beautiful photo of a kitchen from their new listing as their cover photo. And again, it's a way to kind of bring in what you do without being right in your face about what you do. So the cover photo is key, as well as having kind of a fun photo. With your profile photo, don't be afraid to have a fun photo. Obviously within reason, but have a fun photo. It doesn't necessarily need to be kind of the stiff professional photo that might be on some of your other things. It's kind of fun, and that's how really people connect with you. A couple things that are key also when it comes to personal profiles is this sort of about information. So making sure your about information is filled out correctly. And one of the things that's important is right here. So there's this area on your personal profile where you put where you work. And when you fill this out, this becomes a link. And you want this link, if you have a Facebook business page, you want it to link to that. So did you see that? I had my personal profile, and I clicked the link, and it went to my business page. So many times I see personal profiles where it says, broker RE/MAX Calgary or broker RE/MAX whatever, and it doesn't link anywhere, or it links to like a page that hasn't been maintained in a while. So when you go through and really work on some of your settings, you can edit that. Let me just go back really quick here. And the way that you do that, by the way, is you just click this About button. And by the way, I really recommend, if you're like most people, go into this section. I bet you if you're like most people, you probably set up this About section like 2 years ago, maybe a year ago, and you haven't done anything with it. So as part, it's still the new year, it's still early in the new year, go into this section and see when's the last time you've updated your history, your links, how people can connect with you. The other thing that's really important is make sure you have your About You section filled out. And your About You section should not just be all about real estate. Of course, have it in there. Have the fact that you've been an agent for 5 years or 10 years or 20 years or whatever it may be. Have the specific area you work in. For me, I live in an area called the Tri-Valley. Well, out here in Vegas, that doesn't mean anything. So I say the San Francisco Bay Area because that means something to people. So same thing in your About section. And that's a great tip for your website too. Does your website have sort of this term that's known locally, but maybe people outside of the area have no idea what that means? So make sure that's complete. And then the other thing is under your basic information, you want to make sure you've got your contact information filled out. What's interesting about Facebook has a default setting for your email. So if you haven't gone in and put your email in and said, hey, this is a public email, I want people to contact me at this email, the default is that it's a Facebook email. And that Facebook email is a private message, right? How sometimes you get that little notification that you have a private message? That's what your Facebook email is. So if you haven't done this recently, and this was probably in the last few months, go into Facebook, go into your contact information settings, and there's a little button, Edit. Click that button and add whatever email addresses you want, because you'd be amazed. And I was laughing with Corey Joe the other day. We were trying to find agent email information through Facebook. It was next to impossible, and then we go to their site, and then we got to go through forms. It's like, I just want to email you, right? So make sure your email, especially on Facebook, is there. And then a couple things, I always like to add quotations. I have a couple of my favorite quotes. People go, what's the big deal? Why is that important? It's a little thing that helps people connect with you. Because I'll tell you, so many people say, Katie, I don't know about social media. I get leads from past business, from referrals. 95% of my business comes from people I know. Well, what you want to think about is what happens before those people call you. So if 90 or 95% of your business is from people that you know, the people that you know probably gave your name to somebody. And more likely than not, before they called you, they might have just checked you out real quick. right? Even if their best friend gave you their name, they might have still said, you know, I'm going to check you out a little bit. I might go on Google, I might go on LinkedIn, I might go on Facebook. Who is this person? But we don't know that. We don't know when someone's kind of checking us out, right? So just kind of keep that in mind, especially when it comes to your personal profile. The other thing that's important to note on a personal profile is your privacy settings. So on each one of those settings, each one of those sections, you can really monitor what you want public, what you want visible just to friends. I'd really recommend that you keep your contact information public, which does mean anybody in the world can find it, but you want that, right? You want someone to reach out to you, hopefully, and contact you for business. So those are a couple little things that make a really big difference. The other thing that's important in terms of a personal profile, let me go back to my page here. Let's see here. So the other thing that's really important when it comes to a personal profile, I get the question all the time is, how often should I post? You know, I don't want to be one of those people just posting about what I ate for breakfast yesterday. Like, who really cares, Katie? Like, does anybody really care about that? Well, I have to tell you, not too many people know that I know post about breakfast, although I do occasionally see a lot of food photos. Have you guys seen these on Facebook? People are posting, you know, all this food. But what's funny is people connect over food. People connect over different things. So there is really no magic number of how many times a day should I post on Facebook. Should it be in the morning? Should it be in the evening? My opinion is be consistent. So being consistent is once a day. If you can post something once a day, but being authentic. You know, don't just post something just because, well, Katie said to post once a day, but post something, you know, and think about, and I know this might sound strange if you're not in the mindset to do this, but think of your life as content. So if you think, well, what am I supposed to post, and I want to talk about what I do, think about what you're doing during the day. And it might seem kind of mundane, like, okay, well, I'm going to go take some clients out, we're going to look at some homes, and then I'm going to, you know, make this phone call, then I'm going to do this and that. Well, somewhere during the day, there's an opportunity to kind of share a story. Maybe it's a quick video, a 15-second video that you take with a client that you're working with, or maybe it's just a quick photo, you know, of a beautiful home that you happen to see. Hey, I'm out on broker's tour. Look at this amazing photo. Can you believe it? You're not saying, hey, hey, call me today. You're not saying that. You're just, again, sharing what you're doing. The other thing that's really key with your personal profile is not just being the person talking all the time, right? And as people in real estate, we like to talk. We all know how to talk really well. So one of the biggest benefits to Facebook is that it's a conversation tool. People get kind of tripped up in the technology, but just think of it as another way to communicate with people. It's just like the Rotary Club meeting, it's just like the dinner parties, it's just like the mixers, it's just like being here at R4 and hanging out with people. It's just one other way to communicate and to reach people. And so there is definitely a way with your personal profile to really interact. And there's one thing I want to share with you that's I think really kind of a cool thing that you can do with your personal profile. I'm going to go back to my home page here. So on Facebook, you can create lists. Now, some of you might know this already. You can create different lists. But what I found is that for a real estate agent, there's a really big opportunity to create two specific lists. The first is a list of potential clients. So that maybe the 10 or 20 or so people that you might be working with in the future. Maybe they're in the next few months, maybe they're down the line. And then the second list are clients, people that you're actively working with, either buyer or sellers right now. The reason why you want to do this is because on Facebook, if you're looking at my feed, there's a lot of noise, right? There's like the people I went to high school with mixed in with people I'm working with, mixed in from people here at R4. It's like this big mess, right? And so by creating lists, I can pinpoint exactly who I want to look at and who I want to authentically interact with, because that's the secret sauce of Facebook. It's how do you interact with the people that really mean the most, because we don't see everything. You ever get somebody who says, didn't you see that on Facebook? I posted that last week. Well, you didn't see it because Facebook doesn't let you see everything. There's this whole algorithm thing, and they only publish things to your feed based on what you like and this or that. So how do you really interact with people that you want to interact with? You create lists. So I'm going to show you really quick. So I'm going to show you my two lists. So first of all, over here on the left-hand side, these are some of my lists. And this is my client list. So this is a list I created. And you can see up here, I have 15 people on this list. So these are different clients I'm working with across the country. And what I do is I go and click on this list once a day, because I want to know what my clients are doing once a day. And if you want to click on it more than once a day, that's fine, but you shouldn't be spending all day on Facebook. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll through this list And these are people I'm working with. So if something catches my eye, if something's interesting, something's funny, I'm going to comment, I'm going to like, I'm going to share. Now, I'm not just going to click like on every single thing, right? But it's a way to interact with people. Because on Facebook, relationships are built over these tiny little interactions over the course of time. It's just like in real life. You know, you meet someone at a barbecue and you're not like best friends with them right away, but you meet them at the barbecue and then a couple days later, maybe you run into them at the grocery store, and then a year later, you see them at a friend's house, and then you become Facebook friends. You know, and like a year and a half or 2 years later, you're like kind of buddies with this person. And that's sort of what happens on Facebook, is that relationships are built with likes and comments and shares. And it's not just all about business, right? So this is one simple thing. I really recommend anyone who's in real estate, whether you're an agent and your clients, if you're a broker, how about do this with people, with agents that you're potentially trying to recruit or trying to reach out to? I think there's a huge recruiting opportunity as a broker or a manager. And then the second list, like I said, is the potential client list, which is right here. And these are my potential clients, right? These are people that I've had conversations with that maybe at some point, and for me, I'm thinking 12 to 18 months down the line. And that's really the secret sauce, especially in real estate. You've got to think long term. Thinking, you know, okay, you may not get a deal on Facebook tomorrow, but what you're doing right now is setting the groundwork and building relationships for things that could be happening a year from now or a year and a half from now. I mean, good example for myself personally, I just started running my own consulting firm 4 months ago, and 100% of my business is because of social media. Now, granted, I'm not an agent, I don't sell real estate, but there's still a huge opportunity there. I think especially in real estate is such a people business, right? It's all about people. And I think that's why social media, Facebook, Twitter, whatever your medium is that you feel comfortable with, is such a great opportunity. So for those of you who don't know how to do this list thing, I'll just show you really quick. It's very simple. So you're on your home page. If you scroll down, on the left-hand side, I have to tell you, Facebook doesn't make this simple. They should have a big button. They don't yet. They haven't called it yet. But on the left-hand side, you'll see a little thing that says Friends. You guys see that? So over here, I'm going to click More. And these are all of my lists. And at the very top, there's this big button that says Create List. And so now I can create a list. I can call it whatever I want to call it. And of course, you can create lists for all different things. You know, people you went to high school with, your neighbors, whatever. But as a bare minimum, I'd highly recommend you create a client list and a potential client list. So you create the list name. So if I wanted to just call this, I'll just name it Potential Clients. And maybe you want to get really specific, and I'll put Denver. And then from here, I can just add whoever I want to add. So if I want to add, let's say I want to add, we'll add Tom. We'll add a few RE/MAX people. So obviously I'd add more than 3 people, but let's just say I added a few people here. So I'm going to click Create. And so now here's that list, potential clients in Denver. And there's those 3 people I put on a list. And so now I can see everything that Brad posted, everything that Abby and Tom have posted. And again, it's just a really easy way to interact with people and build those relationships with Facebook. So I know I talked a lot about personal profiles. The other thing I want to touch on really quick, and I've got about 9 minutes here, are business pages. So I'm going to pull up really quick. Do any of you have a Facebook business page? Okay, good. A few people? Okay, good. Okay, good. So again, I kind of always get the question, do I need both? And I think, don't start a Facebook business page, first of all, if you don't have a strategy, at least on your personal profile, right? If you already feel a little overwhelmed, then you might want to take a step back, because adding a Facebook business page is kind of a whole nother layer. It's definitely a commitment. And what I've seen with a lot of real estate Facebook pages is that there's a lot of Facebook graveyards where a real estate agent comes to a conference, they get really excited, they set up a Facebook business page, and then 3 weeks later, they get busy, right? They get new clients, they don't have time to post to Facebook every day, and it just becomes sort of a graveyard. And then they go, well, that didn't work, I didn't get any leads, and this was a waste of time. So for a Facebook business page to work, you need to have a strategy. And I will tell you, from working with a lot of different clients, what's really cool about it is it doesn't need to be a huge, overarching thing or completely transforms your whole life. It can be as simple as committing to posting to your Facebook business page once a day. Once a day. Every day. And it's one of those things where, okay, that sounds easy, but then life happens, right? So I want to show you one thing really quick. I'm going to pull up, again, the RE/MAX Facebook page. And one of the things that makes a really big difference when it comes to a Facebook business page, literally, like I said, is consistency. Consistency and also images. Images are huge when it comes to getting likes and comments and shares. That's probably one of the things you've noticed in Facebook. You go on Facebook on your home feed, and one of the things that stands out most to you are images. So if you've got a Facebook business page and it's sort of stale and sort of stagnant, number one, start posting every day in the morning. Now there's all different kinds of times to post, but really sort of the sweet spot for Facebook, what I've found, looking at different agents and different markets, is sort of that 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. That's sort of like the sweet spot of people looking at Facebook. There's also like the lunch hour, 12 to 12:30, people are eating, and they're kind of, checking out Facebook. And then sometimes the evening too, like 9 o'clock is a big hour too. So somewhere in there, but post once a day. Now, one of the nice things about Facebook now is they've actually put in a scheduling tool on your business page. So not on your personal profile, but on your business page, so you can schedule posts for the next day or the day after. Now, I really recommend you don't schedule posts like months in advance, but I do recommend you schedule posts a couple days in advance. The people that I know that are doing a great job in real estate, in social media, with a business page, and are getting business from it, are consistently posting and consistently scheduling. For myself, I'm a social media consultant, and I still sometimes go, oh my God, I got to post to Facebook today, right? So by scheduling out at least a few days, I can always move things around. I can delete something. I can reschedule something. If something comes up that's kind of top of mind, I'll push it. But by scheduling things, it makes a big difference. So I've got the RE/MAX page right here. And actually, I'm going to go to my page because I don't want to accidentally post something and have Corey Joe get mad at me here. So I'm going to pull up, hold on a second. See if I can pull up my page real quick. Okay. I just want to show you how to do this because some of you have a business page. And it's one of these things, again, it's a little bit hidden. I don't know why. Okay, so I have here, this is my post. And, okay, let me scroll back down here. So let's say I wanted to post something. So let's say I wanted to post something that's going to post tomorrow. So let's say I'm going to write, I'm just going to make something up right now. I'm really excited. Hold on. This is live, so hopefully this doesn't mess up. Okay. I'm really excited to be here. Let's see. What's today? Today's Monday, so tomorrow's Tuesday. Okay. For the second day at RE/MAX R4. Okay. This is kind of a lousy update, all right? This is not a good example, but I'm just giving you something quick and simple. All right, now if I was really doing this, I'd add a photo, okay? I'd add a photo of like a Vegas photo, or I'd add a photo from here. So here's how you schedule a message. So you click on, see this, there's like a little teeny clock, okay? You kind of need a magnifying glass. There's this little teeny clock that says schedule or backdate your post. So you click that, and then it's gonna prompt you. So then you add a year. So I'm going to add 2013. I'll add a month, February. I'll add tomorrow. What's tomorrow? 23rd? 24th? Nope, hold on. Thank you. I'm off a little bit here. Okay, 26. And let's say I wanted to post it tomorrow morning. I'm going to post 7 a.m. Okay? And then all I do is I hit schedule. Okay, so now it's scheduled. And so now I can view my activity log. And these are different things I have scheduled for my Facebook page over the next couple days. So it's a little thing that makes a really big difference. And I get asked all the time, well, what could I post on my Facebook page a day or two from now and still make it relevant? Well, there's things like, if you're working with specific clients in specific areas, and even if you're not working with clients, maybe you have no clients right now and you're trying to get clients, what areas do you work in? Go out and take 30 awesome photos of your neighborhood and your community, and then use Instagram or some of the fun apps on your phone. And guess what? Now you have 30 amazing photos that you could schedule out on your Facebook page. And it doesn't necessarily need to just be a home. It could be a picture of the downtown Main Street. It could be the best place to get a cup of coffee. It could be the school, a picture of the school, park, something that sort of gives the flavor of your community. That's one of the things I love about agents more than anything is you guys know your area, your community is like the back of your hand, right? So when it comes to content, think of that. When you're out and about, snap a few photos, and those are ways to sort of create content, that you can then post out and schedule out onto your Facebook business page. The other thing that's great content is anything newsworthy. So, things from the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, or Inman News, or any of these real estate news sources talking about the market, talking about the economy. Now, obviously, those things are timely, so you don't want to post them, days and days in advance. But those are great things, in the morning if you're already looking at some of your news sources to post out. So those are just a couple little things that I think really make a big difference. Honestly, like I said, with a Facebook business page, if you're kind of stuck, number one, just start posting once a day. And you're going to kind of go through this process of figuring out what works and what doesn't work. And don't overthink it. That's usually one of the things people do most is don't overthink it. The second thing is images. Like I said, images make a huge difference. I would say 95% of someone's posts on a Facebook business page should probably be focused on images or video. That's what people love. That's what people really interact with. The third thing is really strategy. Thinking about your strategy, thinking about your content, what's your brand, what can you be talking about in terms of social media. And then the last thing, and I didn't really touch on this, I'm just about to run out of time, I've got like 1 minute here, and that is Facebook ads. So if you have a Facebook page and you have like 30 people who like your page and 5 of them are your relatives and you want to grow your Facebook business page, invest in Facebook ads. Facebook.com/ads. It's very simple to target and to create ads that are targeted to people within your neighborhood, within your area. It's pretty amazing. You can spend $5 a day, $10 a day. I'd recommend you set up ads for 7 days and spend $20 or $25 a day and target people within a 20-mile radius of where you live or your market area. And then just play around with it. If there's a college or university in your area, you can target those alumni. If there's a large corporation where a lot of people that work in that for that company, you can target those people. So kind of play around with them. But if you're a little stuck, I really recommend you look into Facebook ads. You can really try it out and not spend a whole lot of money. I don't get any kickbacks from Facebook for saying that. I've done them myself, and they really do work tremendously. So I'm just about out of time, but I'll be around if any of you have any questions. I have a presentation tomorrow at 4 to 5 on honing your social media strategy. I'm going to be talking a lot about how to build a content strategy and how to really build relationships with Facebook, Twitter, and some of the other social networks. And then the next day I have a presentation all on images and graphics and photos. I have a column on Inman Next, so if you want some more information, you can read up more about me. It's inmannext.com. And of course, you can find me on Facebook, facebook.com/Katie Lance. So thanks, everybody. Have a great rest of the conference.